Welcome you guys to the Paid in Full Almost podcast. I'm your host, Tay, but you knew that. And today we have another special guest. Welcome you guys, Allyson.
Hi.
Yes, Allyson, introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are.
So my name is Allyson McCullough. I'm from Crisfield, Maryland, and I graduated from University of Maryland Eastern Shore in May of 2020.
Ooh. And what was your major? Like, what did you get your degree in?
My major was actually exercise science, kinesiology, but I had a minor in Spanish language.
Ooh, and we're gonna get into that, okay?
Yes.
Off the top, like after you graduated high school, was going to college like automatically your first choice, or did you want to do something else?
Oh yes, college was definitely my first choice. I knew straight away that I wanted to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but the senior year of high school, I was looking into different majors and different career choices. And I was looking into physical therapy. And to do physical therapy, you first have to do either exercise science or biology as a minor or a major. And so I kind of looked into that. But yeah, college was 100% what I wanted to do out of high school.
Okay. So, being that you did go to college, walk us through that journey. So what was that like? Did you get was college what you thought it would be? Like, walk us through that. So how was your 4 years at an HBCU at that? So how was that experience like for you?
It was honestly the best 4 years of my life. I got, I think, everything that I expected and more out of college.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect to go to UMES at first. I applied to 5 colleges,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 of them were in state. The other 3 were out of state. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to be out of state or in state, but UMES actually offered me a pretty good scholarship. And I kind of thought, it'd be nice to stay home a little bit longer and be able to drive to school. I didn't stay on campus, but I was still on campus all the time and very active at UMES, of course. But it was great. I was really involved. I was in the honors program,
Mm-hmm.
a whole bunch of different clubs, like the club for my major, kinesiology club.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot. Even for not living on campus, I was still very much active on campus. And being an HBCU, I feel like I got a very different perspective, and I learned a lot more than I would have if I went to a PWI or something like that. And it opened my eyes to a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have been exposed to if I went to like Salisbury University or something like that. So
Okay. So you feel like being at HBCU, like you were in those conversations that were like, oh, like
yes.
I didn't know. You felt like that.
Yes.
So well, that's good.
Just to be introduced to other cultures too. So I have a lot of friends now from Nigeria that come from the Caribbean, and I got to learn a lot about their cultures that I probably wouldn't have if I went to a college where everyone looked like me, white,
True.
So it was a great experience for sure.
Yes. Did they cook you jollof?
Yes, jollof, amazing. But life-changing.
It is life-changing. It definitely is good. Because there's a whole debate about whose jollof is better. Child,
I've heard.
I don't know.
I tried Nigerian jollof. So Nigerian jollof is pretty good. So.
And then I had Ghana jollof. So it's like a whole debate. So I was like, I don't know.
Rivalry.
It's like rivals. Next question is, what sparked your interest to learn a different language? So do you only speak one language, or how many languages do you speak?
So I speak Spanish. I would say I'm about 80% fluent, because since it's not my native language, obviously I'm not 100% fluent. Yeah, exactly. But it actually started in 9th grade in high school. So my Spanish teacher, Miss Breland,
Oh yeah, Miss Breland.
Yes. So it's funny because when I first started Spanish class, I didn't really like it. because we were forced to take it. You have to take it to graduate, that or VOTEC. So I just chose Spanish. But our junior year of high school, she wanted to take us on a trip to a Spanish speaking country. So she took a group of us. It was a group from Chrisfield High School and a group from Washington High School. And we went to Costa Rica for 10 days. I got my passport. We all had to get our passports because I had never traveled out of the country ever, or even thought about it really. And we all got our passports and we went for 10 days. And that trip was the pivotal moment where I thought, wow, like learning another language and being able to communicate with people that don't speak your language. It really was a beautiful thing. And ever since then, I started seeking out more ways that I could travel abroad. So that Miss Breland is honestly the reason that what I do today. It's crazy. I tell her all the time, I'm like, you were my inspiration for sure.
Yeah, because she spoke like
a lot of language.
She had the flags in the classroom. I said, girl, I'm trying to get Spanish because it ain't clicking. It ain't clicking.
It's hard to learn a language later on. You're supposed to honestly start learning. If you want to learn another language, it's better when you're younger. Some of the students that I teach here now in Spain, which I guess we'll get to that later, but some of the students I teach now, a lot of them are from Algeria and Morocco. So not only do they speak Arabic, French, Spanish now, they're learning English, and they're learning in school. They have to learn Valencian, which is the regional dialect of the region that we're in. That's 5 languages, and they're only in 3rd grade. Like they're 9 years old and already 5 languages. Like that's so impressive.
That is crazy impressive, child, because I'm still stuck on English. So I can imagine trying to do 5. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. What you say again? How the fact that you're teaching abroad right now in Spain, but you minored in Spanish, but right now you're teaching, but that has nothing really is connected to your major. So how do you get into this pathway and this road towards studying, like teaching abroad?
So it was actually a really funny story. So I loved my major. I loved exercise science, and I loved learning about kinesiology, and I thought that I wanted to go directly into PT school, physical therapy school, which is a graduate program, a doctorate program. It's 3 more years after you graduate, because UMES has a great program. And I toured their program, their facilities, and I really liked it. And I really thought that I was going to apply and go to PT school. So I think it was either my 2nd semester of my junior year or my 1st semester of my senior year, I did an internship, a physical therapy internship abroad. I went to Spain for a month. Yes. So my Spanish teacher, actually, one of my Spanish teachers at UMES, she said, there's this program. What was it called? It honestly wasn't really a good program, but that's irrelevant. I got to go to this. Well, that's not the program I'm in now, but the program that she was talking about, she said, you can go over there and I have friends over there that could hook you up. You could do an internship and take Spanish classes towards your minor for like a month. So that was 2019 going into 2020, because it was January. It was around New Year's. So I had to it was this little town in Spain called Cuenca. I had to be in Cuenca by January 6th to start the internship, because this is when we were on break. Like we weren't in college. It was Christmas break. Because you don't go back to college until like the end of January from Christmas break. So this was off season, I guess. And I wanted to do New Year's abroad. I'm like, I don't have to be in this town until January 6th. I want to go somewhere for New Year's before, because I had never been abroad for New Year's. So I started looking up places, and actually my friend and I had planned to go to Edinburgh in Scotland for New Year's. And then that plan fell through because she couldn't because of work. But I still wanted to go somewhere. But I'm like, solo traveling is kind of scary. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I had never been really by myself before.
Mm-hmm.
So I started looking up places in Spain around where I had to be. I had to be in Cuenca. So I found this place called Alicante,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks really cool. And I actually have a Spanish friend who lives in Alicante that lived in Crisfield for a while. Like they did an exchange and came for a summer.
Okay.
But so I hit her up. I'm like, how's Alicante? You know, I'm thinking about coming there for New Year's. And she said, it's really cool, blah, blah, blah. But I couldn't stay with her because her family, something with her family. So I couldn't stay with her. So I'm like, what should I do? So I downloaded, this is really sketchy, but not really sketchy. I downloaded this app called Couchsurfing. Have you ever heard of Couchsurfing?
I think briefly, like I heard it, but I never like looked into it.
So it's an app that a whole bunch of people are on from all over the world, and you can stay at their place for free, pretty much. And I started looking up places in Alicante, and I found this one host, a girl named Victoria, who was from the States, and she was living there, and one of her rooms would have been available in her apartment for people to stay. So I hit her up. I'm like, hey, blah, 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 introducing myself, saying like, I want to stay in Alicante for around 5 days before I have to go to Cuenca. Mm-hmm. And we arranged it, and I didn't know this girl. But they do background checks and stuff. So this
okay. I was about to say.
It's not just some random app. Like they have to verify you. They do background checks and stuff like that. So it's not just random sketchy people.
Okay, I was about to say, wait a minute.
No, it's safe for travelers. Okay. So I ended up going. I stayed with her for 5 days, and we spent New Year's together. She introduced me to a whole bunch of her friends. Oh. And I'm like, what do you guys do here? Because I met people from all over. Actually, New Year's night, it was like people from Italy, people from Albania, people from all over the world. It was so cool. But there were some Americans, and I remember there's one guy from Delaware. And he's Seaford, Delaware. I'm like, how am I in Spain meeting someone from Seaford, Delaware?
Yeah.
It blew my mind. I'm like, what do you do here? He said, I teach English for this program. I'm like, oh, really? And he said, yeah, I can send you the information. It's called Auxiliares de Conversación, which it translates to conversation helper or conversation assistant. And it's through the Spanish government. Oh. And yeah, I said, okay, send me the details. So after I graduated college, I did an internship back in the States, a physical therapy internship, and I didn't like it at all. I was like, I don't know if this is what I want to do anymore. I was kind of having a mental crisis. Like, what? I just spent 4 years studying this, and now I don't know if I want to do this. Mm-hmm. So I looked into the program, and I talked to my parents. I said, I kind of want to do this and go travel and live abroad for a while. And it's a 1-year program.
Okay.
And I just applied, and the program, you get to pick 3 regions of Spain. So in Spain, there's 17 different regions. And the region I'm in is called Comunidad Valenciana, the Valencian community. And that was my top choice because I wanted to be placed in Alicante, because you can pick the region, but you can't choose the city. So you could be put kind of anywhere. I got lucky and was placed in Alicante like I wanted, but I could have been placed in Valencia. I could have been placed in Castellón, because all of those are towns within the Comunidad Valenciana. So you can be placed anywhere.
Okay.
But I got placed here. So yeah, that was how that transitioned into me teaching now.
Now, were you like nervous the first time? Like, child, I'm going over here and I don't know what's what. Like, how? Yeah. So how did you like walk into like, okay, everything's gonna be okay? Like, because I'm assuming you stay with the host family, or
no?
Or do they provide?
They don't. So this thing is this program is very kind of, you have to figure stuff out on your own. So I wasn't as nervous about the going away part, because prior to this, I've lived in Spain before. Like I said, I lived in Cuenca for a month.
Yeah.
One summer, I went to Salamanca for a month and stayed there and took Spanish classes. I've been abroad multiple times, so
Mhm.
it wasn't that part that was scary. The scary part about this was that this is definitely more independent by yourself. You kind of have to figure it out on your own.
Oh.
So what I had to do first, the first step after getting accepted into the program, you have to immediately apply for your visa. You have to apply for a student visa, which is a whole
Child,
process. It
I
is
know. I know.
paperwork, and it is the most annoying thing I
It
think I've ever
is.
had to go through. But it's worth it. But still, I didn't think I was going to get my visa in time. It was a whole mess. Then
Yes.
there's groups on Facebook for people who do the same thing, like
Mhm.
auxiliares, and you join the group, and then you can start looking for apartments and roommates. And there's a couple websites you can go on to like look for apartments in Spain.
Mhm.
And I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to talk to people within the program to see if anyone was looking for a roommate who had
Okay.
already been living here. So
True.
I found my two roommates last year. I found them through the Facebook group. They were
Mhm.
looking for a third roommate. They were two girls from the United States.
Mhm.
And we just hit it off, and we FaceTimed a couple times, and we talked about, roommate
Yeah.
stuff.
True.
And I secured the deposit and stuff. So I kind of reserved my spot within the.
Listen, I know you're enjoying the episode this far, but I just had to let you guys know a little reminder. Make sure you comment down below, leave a 5-star rating on wherever you listen to your podcast. Make sure you subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All the guest information will be in the show notes, so don't forget to check out the guests. All of the show information will be down there as well. And that's all I had to say. That's real independence right there. I would be nervous. I'd be like, oh
It
my
was
God.
it was nerve wracking, but it's better because some people just come over here, get an Airbnb, and stay in the Airbnb until they find a permanent spot. And I didn't want to do
True.
that. I'm like, I don't want to be stressed looking for a place when I'm already here. No,
True.
I wanted
Yeah,
a
that would
place
be a lot.
before.
Right. Be like,
So
I need to be set up.
yeah, I wanted to be set up. So I made sure that I had a place beforehand, and it worked out perfectly. So when I got here, then that's when you have to set up a Spanish bank account.
Okay.
You have to get a Spanish phone number because it's too
True.
expensive to use your American plan over here. Then you have to all these different appointments. Like I had to get something called an empadronamiento, which is basically stating that I live here now, like a
Okay.
resident of the city. Then the visa you get, the student visa, is only good for 90 days. So you have to go to the foreign office
Uh-huh.
and it's like a whole bunch of paperwork, and then you get a little card called a TIE, and that's like your residence card. So I have a residence card that's good until the end of May, because
Okay.
that's like the May 31st is the last day of work, the job. So you have to go when you get here. Your visa doesn't cover your whole stay. You have to go and get that card, which is a whole
Another
other
process.
process. It seems like a lot, and it kind of is, but once you do it the first time, so I had to do it again this year, like do all
Uh-huh.
the paperwork and stuff. It's easy. Like now that I know what to do, and when I got here, my roommates helped me out a lot because they had been here for a year already. So
Yeah. So I guess it was good that you found people that were already here so they could kind of like
yeah,
walk you through and you wasn't like, oh my God, I'm out here.
yeah,
Just what? Oh
yeah. And
wow.
there's a
So
big group chat with everyone who teaches English within the community. So if they have problems and stuff, you just ask questions in the group chat and people will help you. So it's like a community of us here that we support each other.
like, oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Is like just to put a cost estimate on that, is it like like expensive? Like you gonna have to need some money? Because I remember getting my student visa when I was studying abroad, and that was only for like 3 months, like studying and like working, like an internship. That was like an extra, like I want to say around it wasn't more than $300, but it was like three, and then it was no more than three, but it was more than 100. So it was in that range. I'm not for sure. So
Yeah.
like, is it the same range or a little bit higher?
It depends. So I had to get the student visa, which I think is 160 to get your student visa.
Uh-huh.
Then you buy your own plane ticket too. So
Yeah.
that, which wasn't a lot if you know how to find cheap flights. You
I,
can get it for cheap.
I got you.
And then rent here, the price of living here is so cheap. So cheap.
Child.
Like I'll just say my rent per month is 233 euros. 233 euros a month.
And you're telling me that you need a roommate, girl, because I'll come over there right now.
And no, it's so cheap to live here, and our apartment's nice. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. The whole place, if you wanted the whole place, it's just 700 a month for the whole place.
And again, I can make a 4th bedroom downstairs somewhere and just,
So it's crazy. And even like groceries and just different things, that's a cultural difference. Like it's the cost of living here is cheap. So that part wasn't really expensive at all. It was just the getting here, I guess, that was the more expensive part. Yeah, but you don't want to come with no money. Obviously, you want to come with some savings. Like I would say like 500 to 1,000 saved up, you know?
Yeah, just a little comfort, little wiggle room. So does the program that you're in, does it like pay you, or you just like it's like an intern? It pays you?
No, they pay. It's a job, yeah. So we get paid and we get insurance, health insurance here.
Oh, okay, that's good. So like health insurance and pay, like it's good, or is it just like
so it's like when I say it because it's different between here and the United States. So we get paid once a month and it's 1,000 euros. But if you think about it, 233 is the rent and the rest you pocket. Like it's and like I said, the cost of living here is cheap. And then insurance, like if I needed to go to the doctor, I wouldn't have to pay anything. Like the insurance is actually really good.
Really? Yeah. The more you talking, the more I need to go back to my Spanish class and be like, girl, I'm gonna have to do something.
The town that I'm in, a lot of people speak English. So like I know people here, Americans here, who don't speak Spanish hardly at all, and they get by fine.
Allyson, don't tell me that, because I will be on the plane. I will be on the plane like, yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go. Okay, well that's actually like amazing, like the cost of living, and you get to travel while you're there, because I know traveling there is crazy. Like once you're over there, it's not that expensive compared to coming from the United States. So that is crazy. Do you have like an end goal? Do you plan, like how long you think you plan to do this? Like do you plan on living, like eventually just moving up overseas for a good time period, or what you think?
So this is my 2nd year doing the program, and you can do it in the same region up to 3 years. So if I wanted to do it one more year, I could, but then I would have to switch regions because they want diversity, you know, they want exactly. So if I wanted to do it a 3rd year, I could, and I stayed at the same school. So I've been at the same school for the 2 years that I've been doing it. But I haven't decided if I want to do it again for another year or if I want to go back to college and get my master's. But I would do it over here in Europe. I want to try living in a different country. So I was thinking about maybe Germany, honestly, next, because my sister, she's in the Air Force now.
Yeah.
And she got her placement in Germany. So soon she will be stationed in Germany. And I thought, maybe I can go to Germany, get my master's in Germany, and be near her. I think that would be really cool. But I definitely do want to go back to college and get my master's in something like either global health or international relations or something related to that.
Okay, so why do you feel the need to get your master's after you've been out of college for some time? So what is that reason why you're like, okay, I think I need to go and get my master's?
I don't know. I think just part of me really likes being a student. I miss being a student. I really do, because I really liked college and I liked learning, and I think it's fun. And just to have, I feel like that would benefit me getting a master's, especially doing it in Europe, like getting more international
Experience.
exposure, I
Yeah.
guess. The experience, yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. So is the price different? Like, is it
It's so
ex-
much cheaper, girl. The colleges here, some colleges are even free. The only rough thing would be you have to get your degree from the United States translated or transferred,
oh,
and that's a whole process. So that's the only thing that's kind of like, I don't really feel like doing all that because
true.
I'm tired of paperwork, but it'll be worth it eventually. Like if I do it, I think it'll be fine. And a lot of people have done it, so I just have to
Mhm.
find someone who's done it and then talk me through the process. So
True. Is anybody, anybody in the program that's like getting their masters, or like any like you can network with, or
there has been past auxes that have done that. So
done
yes,
that?
I'd get in contact with one of them. Yeah.
Oh snap! What I'm hearing is I need to go overseas and do a little,
You can you can do the program if you've graduated, like if you have a college degree and you're from an English speaking country. So not only do Americans do this, but my I have two roommates now, two new roommates, and one of them's from Ireland and one of
Oh,
them's from Canada. So you can be,
oh,
as long as your country's first language is English. So you could be from Australia, you could be from the UK, you could be from, I think, Philippines too. People from the Philippines can do it.
oh,
But yeah, so it's even within the program, it's a diversity. Yeah, my roommate's Irish, so.
oh, that's
Mhm.
amazing. Oh,
Mhm.
girl, now you got me thinking. Now
You
I'm
should look into it. I mean, it's really, I would recommend it. It's changed my life. It's made me more independent and
mhm.
definitely just living in another country in general for more than a month. Because I've lived a month abroad and stuff, but that's life changing too. But this is,
Yeah.
you're actually living here, you're paying bills, like you're working, doing day-to-day things. You're actually just living in another
Living in
country.
this
It's
just
crazy,
yeah, no,
crazy.
that is amazing. Do you think you'll permanently like live abroad, or you think you just exploring? Like you think like, you know what? I'm gonna just plant my roots abroad and just live here like forever. Or do you think like, okay, I'm gonna try to do it for like 5 years and then I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna go back home?
I have no clue as of right now. I have both thoughts daily. Like I think about lately, I've been thinking about the future a lot, and I try not
Mhm.
to. I try to really be present in the
Yeah.
moment, but the thought swaps. So one day I'll be like, I can see myself doing this for maybe another 3, 4 years and then going back home. And other days I'm like, I'd stay here traveling forever, like just hop
True.
around, like live.
Yeah.
So it all depends. It really all depends.
Now that you've gone through this, is there like a big adversity that you had to like overcome or face during this opportunity that was very like, oh my goodness, I didn't know I had to go through this, or I would have to face this?
Um, well, the paperwork side of it, yeah, that was really hard. And just you can't let that frustrate you too much because that's just how things are over here. Dealing with paperwork in foreign offices, it is frustrating and it really is sometimes discouraging. It's like, why
Mhm.
am I even trying? Like that, it just gets so frustrating, but you just have to keep pushing and getting things done. And the other side of it would definitely be trying to become more independent and trying to be okay with being alone also. So
True.
I meet new people every day and I have a lot of great friends, but it's different being miles away from your parents, miles away from everything that was once comfortable to you.
True.
So at first I would get homesick. Um, but now not so much.
Hmm.
Um, but really, because even during college, I've never lived away from home for a long period of time. Like
Yeah.
I didn't live on campus. I've always been home with my parents and my sister. They would cook for me all the time, so I kind of had to learn how to like, cook
Good.
decent meals for
Yeah.
myself and just do stuff on my own, figure it out
Yeah.
on my own. So that
Yeah.
was another big thing for me. Yeah.
True. It is a big adjustment, like living on your own. And when you're used to be around people and now you don't know nobody, be like, I don't know. Okay, yeah, that
Exactly.
is a good one. Is there anything, if someone was looking into this or thinking about studying abroad or something, is there any advice you would give them or any like tips or pointers?
I would say prepare, kind
Mm-hmm.
of try. I mean, it's easy to be, and I love being spontaneous, but sometimes you really do need to sit down and figure it out before. Like you can't
Mm-hmm.
always just go out on a whim and be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, because some things do take planning and strategic steps.
Mm-hmm.
So that learn how to pack light. Don't pack everything you have. And good packing is just, it's a good lesson to learn, because I'm still bad at packing. I'm still bad at packing and it's
Same.
terrible. So learn how to pack good.
Yeah.
Um, be open-minded,
Mm-hmm.
because you will meet people very different from you, and you will be in situations where you're like, this is not what I'm used to. But you really have I thought I was open-minded, and I am, and I'm a
Mm-hmm.
lot more now, because I was put into situations where I'm like, okay, this is different. This is really different. I've been abroad before, but living here, it's a lot more different.
Than
So you
what
just
you
have to
thought.
really, really come with an open mind,
You gotta
because
open your mind.
you never know what you're going to experience,
Dang.
and it's
Okay.
just
Yeah. So
different.
open-minded, pack light, paperwork, like make sure you got your bank account, your funds is good, and you're set.
Yeah, and research. I always tell everyone this, and I even do this even if I'm just going like for vacation or something. Research the area you're going to. Even learn a couple phrases in the language. So
Mm-hmm.
I went on a trip to Sweden to see
Mm-hmm.
one of my friends that I actually met here in Spain. She's from Sweden. So I went there and I like researched a little bit. I learned a couple Swedish phrases, because I think that's a part of being open-minded and being respectful. You don't want to go there and disrespect them and
True.
not even try to learn about their culture or speak some of their language. I feel like you should really look up stuff prior, and
Mm-hmm.
it makes the trip, it makes the experience better.
True. Okay, yeah, that is a good. I never thought about that, but yeah, that is a good thing to do. And um, just knowing a little bit. So when you get there, you'd be like, I know what you're talking about. I did some research. Like, it's a good, it helps you get into the like the flow of things. And you're like, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
want to explore your culture. And then people, I feel like locals are more open to showing,
Appreciative, yeah.
yeah, and be like, oh, okay, like I'll teach you a little bit more. So yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
a good note to have when traveling anywhere that isn't like your own, like where you're not used to or in a different culture. So
Yeah.
the last question. So first, do you have student loans?
I do not actually.
Well, let's talk about
Thank
it
God.
because what? So your
Yeah.
your your ride was free, basically?
Yes.
Okay,
And
period.
it if I had stayed on campus, I think I would have ended up having to pay a little bit, but since it was on UMES is 25 minutes from my house, I'm like, why would
Yeah,
I spend the extra money
true.
to stay on campus when I can just drive? So I did pay gas money a lot,
Yeah,
but
true.
no big
Now, do
deal.
you feel as though, side note, do you feel as though since you don't have student loans, is the burden light? Like since graduating, it's like I don't really have to worry about paying nothing back.
Yes, it is. So it's a really good feeling, because my roommate last year who was here, she had to pay for student loans and she was kind of stressing a little bit, but
Sure.
I don't have to
You don't
worry
have to
about
go
it.
through that stress. Okay,
No.
so this is a turn of events, guys, because I ain't never interviewed nobody this far that's been to school for free. So, do you think I would ask, like, do you think college was worth paying in full? But since you went for free, do you think college is worth it? Do you think like?
No, of course I would. If I had to pay for that, I would have.
You would have?
Like if I to know everything that I was able to do in college, because I mean, even during college, I studied abroad a lot. The experiences I got, the quality, I loved like almost all my professors. Great, everything about it was great. I love literally when they say the best 4 years of your life, best 4 years of my life. And if I had to pay for it, I would have.
You would have?
Honestly, it was worth it.
Well, folks, you heard it here. She said she would have paid the big bucks for her degree, but she didn't have to. So thank you, Allyson, for coming on. Thanks for letting me interview you guys. Make sure you check out Allyson. I'll put all her information down below in the bio. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Hey, you guys. Thank you for watching the episode this far. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. And also, let me know what you want to see, what type of content you want me to producing and creating. Who do you want me to bring onto the show? Okay, let me know down below, you guys. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye, you